In Formula One, being the fastest won't win hearts. Some champions are hated, while underdogs become legends without ever taking the crown. Lando Norris. Let's start with the current fan favorite who's taking the F1 world by storm. Lando Norris has achieved something remarkable. He's managed to win over Formula One fans across the globe, not just with his driving, but with his personality. According to recent fan surveys, Norris topped the popularity charts with 15% of respondents picking him as their favorite driver. But here's what makes Lando special. It's not just his impressive performances on track. The McLaren star has mastered the art of being relatable in an often glamorous and exclusive sport. His witty social media presence, his involvement in esports, and his ability to make almost any moment into a joke has endeared him to younger audiences especially. When he secured his first F1 victory at the 2024 Miami Grand Prix, his genuine gratitude and emotional reaction reminded everyone why he's so beloved one. The Carlando era with former teammate Carlos Sainz Jr. also showcased Norris's natural chemistry and friendship abilities, giving fans a glimpse into his authentic personality. Even as McLaren evolved into a championship-contending team, Norris remained humble and grateful, qualities that shine through in a sport often criticized for driver egos. Daniel Ricciardo. But wait, there's one driver who might just be even more universally loved than Norris. Daniel Ricciardo, the Australian known as the Honey Badger, has achieved something almost impossible in modern F1. He's liked by literally everyone. What's Ricciardo's secret? It's his infectious charisma and genuine friendliness with everyone he meets, whether it's fans, fellow drivers, or team personnel. His signature shoey celebration on the podium has become legendary, and he's even convinced drivers like Lewis Hamilton to join in the tradition. The man has appeared on The Ellen Show representing Formula One. That's how much mainstream appeal he has. Here's the fascinating part about Ricciardo's popularity. Even when he made controversial career moves, leaving teams in difficult positions, fans continued to support him. His laid-back personality off track, combined with his fierce competitiveness on track, that honey badger mentality, created the perfect balance that fans adore. As he once said, "I would rather try and fail, rather than not try at all." And that philosophy resonates with people everywhere. Charles Leclerc. Speaking of drivers who've captured hearts, Charles Leclerc represents something special in Formula One. The Monegasque driver has become synonymous with passion, precision, and resilience, carrying the weight of Ferrari's legendary legacy on his shoulders. What makes Leclerc particularly beloved is his humility and deep emotional connection to the sport, especially his tribute to his late mentor, Jules Bianchi. Leclerc's performances are marked by daring overtakes and emotional victories that have earned him a devoted following. But beyond the racing, fans connect with his artistic side. Did you know he's an accomplished pianist who has even released music on Spotify? This multi-dimensional personality makes him relatable despite his extraordinary talent. Ayrton Senna. Now let's talk about a driver whose love transcends generations. Ayrton Senna remains one of the most beloved figures in F1 history, despite his tragic death 30 years ago. Senna's mystique comes from his relentless pursuit of perfection and his passionate, almost spiritual approach to racing. What made Senna special wasn't just his 3 world championships or his record 65 pole positions. It was his intensity, his willingness to push beyond human limits, and his genuine love for the sport that captivated fans worldwide. His rivalry with Alain Prost, while controversial, showcased a driver who would rather crash than not try, a philosophy that resonated deeply with racing purists. But now, let's flip the script and talk about the drivers who've earned the wrath of F1 fans. Nikita Mazepin. At the top of this unfortunate list sits Nikita Mazepin, who achieved something truly remarkable. He became the most hated driver in F1 history before he even completed his first season. Mazepin's path to F1 was paved with his father's billions rather than pure talent. His father, with a reported net worth of over $2.4 billion, essentially bought his son's seat at Haas through a massive sponsorship deal with Uralkali. But here's where it gets worse. Before the season even began, Mazepin posted a disturbing Instagram story that appeared to show him inappropriately touching a woman, which he later deleted and offered a half-hearted apology for. Once on track, Mazepin proved he simply wasn't F1 caliber. He crashed on the first lap of his debut race and consistently made dangerous moves that angered other drivers. Sergio Perez called him an idiot after one incident, and even his own teammate Mick Schumacher questioned his dangerous driving. By season's end, he finished 21st in the standings, in a sport where only 20 drivers compete in each race. Lance Stroll. Speaking of controversial figures, Lance Stroll represents everything fans hate about pay drivers. The Canadian's F1 journey began when his billionaire father paid Williams a reported $80 million for his seat. But the story gets even more outrageous. Stroll's father didn't just sponsor a team, he bought one entirely, purchasing the struggling Force India team and immediately giving his son a starring role. Here's what really frustrates fans about Stroll. Despite years in F1 and access to the best equipment money can buy, he consistently underperforms. In 2023, he was completely outclassed by teammate Fernando Alonso, managing only 74 points compared to Alonso's 206. Even friendly drivers like Daniel Ricciardo have lost patience with him, with Ricciardo saying "F that guy" after a collision in China. The media has also turned on Stroll, with commentators questioning his performance and even his place in the sport. Unlike other pay drivers who've eventually proven their worth, Stroll seems unable to escape the criticism that follows him. Sebastian Vettel. Here's where things get interesting. Sebastian Vettel's story proves that reputations can change dramatically in F1. During his dominant Red Bull years, Vettel was genuinely despised by many fans who found his success boring and his attitude arrogant. The infamous Multi-21 incident in 2013, where he disobeyed team orders to overtake teammate Mark Webber, made him look selfish and entitled. His lawyers even threatened legal action against Red Bull for giving him team orders. But here's the fascinating part. Vettel's reputation was saved by losing. When he moved to Ferrari and struggled to win championships, fans began rooting for the underdog version of Sebastian Vettel. His gracious retirement in 2022 saw the entire F1 community wish him well, completing one of the most remarkable image transformations in sport. Looking back through F1 history, certain names still generate controversy decades later. Michael Schumacher, despite being the most successful F1 driver ever, remains divisive due to his questionable sportsmanship. His deliberate collisions with championship rivals Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve, and his parking incident at Monaco in 2006 left permanent stains on his legacy. Nelson Piquet, a three-time world champion, was known for his inappropriate behavior both on and off track. He made disparaging comments about fellow Brazilian Ayrton Senna and had explosive confrontations with other drivers, including a famous incident where he physically attacked Eliseo Salazar after a collision. What's particularly interesting is how the pay driver label has become almost synonymous with being hated in F1. Nicholas Latifi, despite being generally well-behaved, struggled with fan perception due to his family's wealth and financial backing of Williams. His modest performances and consistent struggles to score points only reinforced negative stereotypes about drivers who buy their way into F1. So what separates the loved from the hated in Formula One? The data suggests it's not always about driving ability. Max Verstappen, despite being voted the best driver by team principals for 4 consecutive years, ranked only 7th in fan popularity surveys. Success, it seems, can breed resentment just as easily as admiration. The most beloved drivers share common traits: authenticity, humility, and the ability to connect with fans on a human level. They show gratitude for opportunities, handle both success and failure gracefully, and maintain relatability despite their extraordinary circumstances. As we look at today's grid, the popularity rankings continue to evolve. Esteban Ocon has surprisingly become one of the most disliked drivers despite being relatively average, with fans and even his own team seemingly eager to part ways. His aggressive racing style and perceived poor teammate relationships have created a negative reputation that follows him throughout the paddock. Meanwhile, drivers like Oscar Piastri are rapidly rising in popularity, finishing fourth in recent fan surveys and demonstrating that new talent can quickly win over hearts with the right combination of skill and personality. The truth about love and hate in Formula One is that it often has little to do with lap times and everything to do with humanity. Fans don't just want to see fast drivers. They want to see authentic people who respect the sport, show gratitude for their opportunities, and demonstrate that they've earned their place on the grid. In a sport where milliseconds matter and millions of dollars are at stake, the drivers who remember to stay human, who show vulnerability and gratitude, who race hard but fair, these are the ones who transcend mere athletic achievement to become truly beloved figures in motorsport history. The rankings will continue to shift as careers evolve, but one thing remains constant. In Formula One, being fast isn't enough. To be truly loved by fans, you need to be real, and that's something no amount of money can buy. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more such content.